For over a month now, I cannot go onto any platform, watch anything, scroll around without seeing at least one of three things. Either something to do with this weirdo, something to do with Orangey, or this guy's mug looking back at me with longing in his eyes. Oh, hi there. My name's Jorge. I grew up in the 80s and I used to love getting into trouble. I have always been a friend of felines. I take my faith very seriously, attending school at a Christian college, and I've been a music fan my entire life, only recently discovering that I really like extreme metal, and I want to invite you to journey with me on my discovery of extreme metal. What is up, folks? Welcome back to A Christian Collects Death Metal. It's your pal Jorge here, back at you with another video. Thanks for stopping by. Once again, welcome back. My friends, today we will be discussing Draugveil and his debut album, Cruel World of Dreams and Fears. You might be thinking, Jorge, you're a little late to the party. This was released a month ago, 5 weeks ago. It's been a while. And yeah, I realize that. You know what? I saw that there were a ton of videos, and I kind of thought that the hype train would sort of fizzle out. The most recent thing that I could think of some hype that was maintained over a prolonged period of time was Malignant Worthlessness. But it's interesting with this Draugveil artist because this is his debut album. There's no demo, there's no EP. It's just boom, right? Jumping from the frying pan into the fire with this debut album. So I just want to discuss my thoughts on this. Draugveil is a Czech artist signed to Belgium label Phantom Lure. I'm not really sure because it's weird. Metal Archive says that he's unsigned and independent. So maybe Phantom Lure is just handling the pre-orders and the production and stuff. I'm not really sure. But anyway, Phantom Lure is one of those labels where I always try to keep an eye on them. They have some cool things that they do. They just release some of the reissues of a handful of old Nick albums. So that's kind of cool. Draugveil, yeah, they're handling that too. I assume their U.S. counterpart, Out of Season, will be handling stuff over here in the States. So before we talk about the actual music, let's discuss the elephant in the room, and that is the image itself. Yeah, this guy, ironclad, medieval soldier's armor, corpse paint, laying on a bed of roses, looking at you. You know, the sort of lonely night in a confusing world or a dark world. I don't know. When I first saw this, I thought that this was an older album, like from the early 2000s, because that really does feel like what it is. And I think that is the aesthetic that he's going for. It's starting to pour rain outside, by the way. Got distracted. Wow, it's really coming down. One of the biggest complaints I'm seeing from like gatekeepers is that it's too femboy, it's too gay, you know, looky here, it's too glammy, right? But black metal, they've been doing, you know, pockets of black metal. Certain artists, they've been doing these glam type shots for a while now. I could think of one just right off the top of my head, right? Their hair's all done, right? It's makeup and you know, the corpse paint. It looks very glamorous, right? So, you know, this isn't a new thing in black metal. Some artists, you know, that's very much what they're going for. In fact, a more contemporary, a newer artist, Ascalifa, he just released an image that received a lot of hate as well. He's signed to Go to Warx, and yeah, people were saying, dude, come on, man, enough of this femme stuff, you know. And these images seem like, you know, forgotten relics of a bygone time. resurrected. And so I'm for it personally, but let's discuss the other issue. Another big complaint is that this cover art is AI generated, and I'm not sure. I think that there are parts of it that is most definitely roses, obviously don't grow up from the ground like that. They come in like a thorny bush. I would know, my parents used to have one. So, I can't really tell myself as far as, is this the actual guy? It seems to be. But you know who else done some AI cover art? Glenn Benton and Deicide with their 2024 released Banished by Sin. Yeah, and I know people were up in arms about that as well. And the thing is, it doesn't really matter to me at the end of the day. I don't like AI. I don't like the idea of it being used more and more frequently in cover art. Definitely, I don't want it in music, and we'll get to that here in a moment. But, if he incorporated some AI roses into this photo of him somehow, who knows? I think the photo achieves what it's supposed to. It has that very early 2000s aesthetic to it, and it's eye-catching. I mean, it has everybody talking, so he's done something right here. The music itself is very, very impressive. In fact, I almost couldn't believe what I heard. When I first listened to that one song, that album opener, I thought, this has got to be it for the album. Maybe there's another song. The whole album can't be this good, right? Dude, I was wrong. The whole album was great. You hear so much black metal over time, so much raw black metal, death metal, what have you. And yeah, very, very seldom do you find an album where from start to finish, it's just a blast. And that album, dude, this Draugveil album is a blast from start to finish. There's no other way of saying it. The dude is really talented, and people are suspicious that this is AI assisted music as well. And if that's the case, hats off to AI. Wow, amazing job. But I don't think that's what that is, because when I listen to it, so I'm trying to listen for how clean it is, and yes, he's going for this raw black metal approach, and it's not really raw, right? Like we're used to, right? I'm used to trash can dirt, god-awful raw black metal. For the most part, that sounds good, but as well as I do, there's some raw black metal out there that's just so lo-fi, and you barely even can discern anything. That's not the case with this Draugveil album. Yes, there's this raw element, especially in the vocal production, but as far as the music, everything's discernible. There's bass, So, I mean, I see why some people are raising some eyebrows over different reasons. The music sounds great. I can pick apart everything. I know what's happening. I can follow the song structure. So, the production is, in my opinion, where it probably should be for this subgenre of black metal. It just sounds really good. The tunes are catchy. That's another thing. They are so catchy. It almost feels poppy in a way, like pop black metal. And that's probably, hearing myself say that, it sounds like a sin. But my gosh, it's just some really catchy tunes. And I think that's partly due to how he's, organized the lyrics, structured the vocals. It just sounds absolutely amazing. I couldn't believe I was hearing what I was hearing. Like I said, I've listened to it a few times since its release, and I'm absolutely blown away by it. So the artist himself seems like a cool guy. I reached out, was able to chat with him a little bit, just wanted to offer congrats on the success of the new album, what have you. Seems like a really cool, down-to-earth guy. Very talented. Maybe as time goes on, things will come out. Maybe he'll divulge more pieces of info. Did he use AI for the cover? Were there some assistance, or was there some assistance on in the music writing itself? I don't know. I don't think so. Like I said, the production, everything sounds pretty clean. Now, I don't. There are parts where I think there might be like programmed drums, but then there are parts where the drums sound natural and organic. And so I don't know. All I know is that it sounds good. I like it. I'm going to be picking up a copy when they land. I don't know about you. Guys, that's all I have today. Let me know in the comments exactly what you think. What do you think about this artist? Have you listened to the album? Do you love it? Do you not care for it so much? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any other infos, I'd be curious to see what you have to say as well. Jorge, a Christian who collects death metal, signing off. Be blessed.